What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in. It's the official first episode of. I wanted to call it Getting Hammered with Lynch, but I don't think I'll be getting hammered every fucking episode. Um, I also thought about calling it Questioning Everything with Lynch, but ultimately I think I decided on Shooting the Shit with Lynch. Thanks for tuning in. This is our first episode. I know I said that already. Who cares? Um, yeah, basically, I'll just be talking about topics that I find interesting and, you know, diving in deep, getting deep into them. With that being said, I think the first topic I want to talk about today is the new Bethesda release, Starfield. And I've been looking at reviews, I've been looking at fucking, I don't know, gameplay, all that extra shit. And really what this game seems like to me is a re-skinned and repurposed Fallout. But instead of, you know, the wasteland, we're in outer space, I guess. Bethesda was really excited to be like, oh yeah, there's unlimited planets that you can explore, however the planets are restricted. So now it no longer feels like a ginormous fucking open world game like any of the previous Bethesda releases in that type of vein. Now it kind of just feels like some weird fucking sandbox shit that is odd. I don't know. That's just what I've been hearing. It's what I've been seeing. I haven't played the game. I don't play too many games, but I love Skyrim, and I feel like everybody loved Skyrim. Skyrim was everyone's favorite game when it came out for like, the year of and the following years. For at least maybe, 3, 4, 5 years. People loved that fucking game. And I feel like that's what we want from Bethesda, really. We just want more Skyrim. At least casuals like me. I'm not a hardcore gamer. I'm not a guy who sinks hours on hours into playing games. But when a good RPG comes out, I enjoy the shit out of it. I'll find time to play it. But as a grown man, I don't really care about new gaming experiences as much as I did when I was younger. You know? I feel like we're hitting a point where, or I'm hitting a point in my life where I feel like I just want to play things that I'm familiar with, but are good, you know? I'm familiar with the Bethesda style game, the RPG, whatever. You get in there, you do what you gotta do. But I'm not interested in the new themes. I'm not interested in all the fake innovation that these guys are claiming that this game is gonna have. I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, these guys are fucking liars. Nothing about this game is new and refreshing because I haven't played the game. But from what I've seen and what I've heard through the grapevine, this isn't it. This isn't it. This is not really what people wanted. Some people are saying it feels like, Bethesda's version of Mass Effect or No Man's Sky, which I'm not really into intergalactical type fucking games. But I don't even know if this could really compete with those. Not to say No Man's Sky is like great or anything, but from what I've heard, it's a bit more captivating than whatever the fuck this shit is. Starfield out now. If you've played it, if you know anyone who's played it, give me your opinion. And I understand when it comes to playing games, it's really, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. If you're looking for a game that's gonna check off the boxes that, you know, a typical Bethesda game might check off, this might be the game for you. This might be a good game to you. You might enjoy it. You get to roam a open world. You get into nonsense and shenanigans, a lot of Easter eggs and interesting quests. Maybe this has all of that. But I don't care to play a reskinned version of Fallout. I don't. I don't care about it. I'm not interested in it. Just give me a new Fallout game. Don't give a fuck about space. With that being said, I can't sit here and say definitively that this game is good or bad. I can't say it objectively, you know. But what I can say is I'm not a fan of that type of genre. I don't care for this. Give us the new Elder Scrolls. We were looking for Elder Scrolls 6. We want Elder Scrolls 6. That's the only thing we want. And if you guys are going to create that, if you guys are going to, you Bethesda guys, you guys are going to make this new Elder Scrolls 6 and you're just going to reskin, repurpose Skyrim the way you've been doing for all of your new releases, and, maybe add 10,000 new quests, or, reskin quests that we've already done in previous games, that would be good enough for me. I would have no complaints. I would play it the same way I fucking played Skyrim. I just want more of that game, Even with the shit graphics and the frame rates and whatever the fuck, I don't give a fuck about that. That's not really what I'm interested in. I like the game for what I like it for, and I wouldn't be too upset with a reskinned version of Skyrim, but I would understand everybody else's frustration with having a game that's playing off the same fucking engine of a game that was put out 12 fucking years ago. Like, I could understand some frustration if it's not a breath of fresh air, if it's not a new experience for a lot of people. However, personally, I wouldn't care. I would still play the shit out of it. I feel like those vibes, that theme, that world is just a bit more interesting than all the intergalactical shit. Because it's like, I don't know, man. More of a fucking fantasy guy than a space sci-fi guy. It is what it is. It's all personal preference. However, I will say I am starting to get a bit annoyed of all of these ginormous corporations pumping out the same fucking products that they've pumped out the last 10, 20 years, and everybody having to gobble that shit up. If everyone decided to take a stand and say, hey, I don't want to hear a new rendition of a Nelly song. I don't want to watch a reversion of a movie that came out in the 2000s and was mildly successful. I don't want to play the same fucking 2K that you guys gave us last year with different game mechanics and like slightly worse graphics. If everybody decided to collectively stop taking that type of shit, maybe we can make some progress when it comes to these fucking corporations trying to force feed us the same fucking thing they've been feeding us for years. But I will say, at the beginning of the segment, I said it myself. I want more of the same, just slightly different, so I could understand where they're coming from. The bar is really low, people. As consumers, the bar is ridiculously low, and it's really up to the consumers to dictate if these companies are going to start to become more innovative or not. It's really up to us. If we decide to stop consuming the nonsense that they're putting out, they will change. They'll try to do more. They'll try to think outside the box. They'll try to give us something that they haven't given us before. But I think us as a society, at least in the US, we're fucking content with the bullshit, and things aren't gonna change. from games to music to movies to whatever, everything. It's all the same. Moving over, it's that time of year where the entire country goes into a panic. This time it's because we may potentially have a government shutdown. I mean, at the time that this is being recorded, it's been averted. However, we're pretty close to having one, and we're still not entirely out of the clear yet. For those who may not know, who may not be informed, like most of us, according to CNN, politics, a government shutdown happens when Congress doesn't approve funding for the federal government by the time the new fiscal year starts on October 1st. It can be averted briefly if a short-term funding bill is passed, like what happened just before midnight on September 30th. Each year, Congress must pass the 12 appropriation bills that makes up the discretionary spending budget and sets funding levels for federal agencies. So they're deciding what to do with this budget. They're allocating basically, and they have this nice big old meeting in DC or whatever, and they decide what to do with billions and trillions of dollars of taxpayers' money. And I thought at this point, they'd probably do what they do every year, which is, give most of it to the military industrial complex and, the rest of it pocket. But maybe I shouldn't be so cynical. Of course, taxpayers' money is supposed to recirculate into things that we pay for, like our first responders and our cities being, taken care of and maintained and whatnot. But let's keep it a bean, dude. We all know a good portion of our money that we pay taxes on, we give to this government that keeps us safe and free, is being pocketed by corrupt politicians and being funneled into all types of different complexes and, warmongering campaigns in other countries, And is that a bad thing? I think for the most part, it is. I think we should keep a lot of our money in-house. We should try to make sure that what's going on in this country comes first before we, send our troops anywhere to do any nonsense. And I know war breeds more money, and that's the main reason and driving force behind the complex. But let's keep it a bean here. Capitalism has made it so that our pockets are fucking humongous in this country. That small percentage of people who get to keep most of that money, who, profit and figured it out and were innovative and, or just had the head start on everybody else, they're eating well and they're sitting pretty. And why do we need to have any more, any more conflict that isn't in here? We should really do our best to get the U.S. together. Take care of some of these inner cities. Take care of, the things that matter. But enough of that hippie bullshit. The government shutting down, and this is not a good thing or the government got close to shutting down. I shouldn't say they're shutting down. They're not shut down. They have 45 days to figure it out, but we got pretty close to it, and it's not good. It's not good for our first responders and the brave people who, are on the scene when we need them, who work for the city. All of these people who take these federal jobs with their nice little pensions and retirements, and we got to make sure these people are taken care of. If not, our lives become a lot more difficult. But no one seems to care. this government came pretty close to shutting down this year, and no one seemed to care. I mean, it's possible that I was looking in all the wrong places. My Instagram algorithm is not very political, or, just I don't know. I don't have any other adjectives other than maybe political. It's not politically driven, so I don't see shit like this. But to me, it kind of seems like everyone I've come in contact with and everyone that I deal with on a day to day are just as out of the loop as I am when it comes to this whole government shutdown. Seems like people just don't know. And I think it's really because people just don't care. I think we're heading into a very dark place where no one gives a fuck about anything. And the level of nihilism that I'm seeing with my peers and people older than me, and even, and especially the people younger than me, it's disheartening and it's heartbreaking. I come across a lot of people on the day to day who are longing for community, and because they don't have that, and maybe they don't even realize that they want that or they need that to continue to, operate and function on a more peaceful and happy plane of existence. I come across these people a lot, and they disassociate and they become very nihilistic and they become very depressed. And it's an epidemic that I'm seeing, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I really question what can be done and what can we do as, I don't know, a community, as people, as, people on the internet, to raise the morale and raise just the sense of wanting to be alive with people these days. It's disgusting what we're seeing. Like, can't turn on the fucking computer or your phone without seeing some terrible shit going on, negative fucking interactions constantly, whether it be, fights, or, you see Karens and whatnot. And like, bro, I literally turned this shit on and I see niggas dying. Like, what are we doing? Like, what the fuck are we doing? This shit is brutal. And it's like, I could only imagine what it's like being a kid growing up with access to this type of shit from the age of like 8, from the age of 6, 5. I don't know, however old you are, once your parent starts to put a fucking iPad in your face. Like, this shit is fucking, it's critical, man. It's critical. I got a lot of buddies right now. They're going through it, just in my day-to-day, people I see every day. And, it's weird. It's real weird, being an adult. It's difficult and whatnot, and it's lonely, but it feels more lonely with, like, this false sense of community that people get from the internet. It's disgusting. I think niggas need to go outside and touch some grass, go have some conversations, go fucking do shit, The rates of like suicide and depression amongst people these days, they're just so high. They're so high, and it really comes from this place of comfort. As crazy as it sounds, it comes from a place of comfort. Because you think about people who don't have the luxuries that we have, i.e., fast food and, unlimited supplies of water and owning a car and fucking owning a home and having a place to fucking sleep and having your own space, and these things that we take for granted every fucking day. They people who don't have those types of things don't have the time, the freedom, the ability to be like, oh yeah, I have everything I want, but I'm fucking sad. No, they're fucking sad because they don't have what they need to survive. And it's like it's like now that we're at such a good place as a race, as fucking a civilization, as just we're not fighting for all this shit. You know, we have a lot of humans who are just content, and they're so content in ways that they've never been that they're fucking sad about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a fucking weird ass world that we're living in right now. And I know this is a fucking tangent from a government shutdown, but I think it's something that needs to be addressed. And I think I think that it's really pivotal and vital that a lot of us start to understand that we do need assistance. We need help. We need support. We can't do it all on our own all the time. We need to go see, you know, we need to go see professionals sometimes. If you don't have people in your life who are there when you need them, that are there to support you when you're at your lows, you need to pay a professional, and there's no shame in that. You know, even if you do have people, maybe you're scared of judgment. Maybe you're, you know, you might be a little anxious on how people are going to perceive you and how people are going to think of you after you tell them your problems or you tell them what's going on in your life. And there's professionals for that. You could talk to a person who's completely, you know, unbiased. You know, they're doing their best to be objective, and they'll sit there, listen to the things in your life, and tell you steps to improve your well-being or your peace of mind or whatever. And I feel like a lot of us need to understand that that is an option, and we need to seek that, because there's too many niggas out here that are just sad. Like, why are we out here sad? We don't need to be. Like, nigga, if you have an iPhone, if you have internet, if you eat a couple meals a day, like, bro, you you should do your best to not be sad, because you have so much more than a lot of people. I wouldn't say the average person, but than a lot of people. You have a lot more than a lot of people. And I don't know. Moving forward, I want y'all niggas to go get therapy if y'all need it. I want niggas to be more grateful about life, and I want niggas to understand that shit is rough. Shit is rough, and the system is not gonna fix it. System's not gonna help nobody. These motherfuckers can't even decide what they're gonna do with the trillions and billions of dollars that we pay them. They have a hard time figuring it out. New York's getting fucking flooded right now. Motherfuckers is getting decimated. But these motherfuckers don't know where to put some money, you know? I don't know. I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm sure, you know, governing a country is very difficult and very complex. But if we were able to take out all of these ginormous fucking companies and corporations, and if we were not just remove them, but rather not have them dictate policies and whatnot, this country would be a lot more objective, and it'd be a lot more, they'd understand, and they'd know where to put the money. They'd put it where it needs to be placed, rather than put it in the pockets of people who found a loophole and know how to exploit the government. Moving on to a lighter note, not to be a fucking I don't know, a deadbeat, a fucking a bummer, a buzzkill. Because we all know young people are upset because they can't afford anything. You know, old people are upset because of young people. And the government, you know, all that extra shit. Like, we heard this shit like 1,000 times. Everybody complains about everything on the internet. Niggas not just happy that they're fucking alive and, could be on the internet and could go for walks and, you know, go look at the fucking sky. That's not enough. That's not enough for niggas. Niggas need a Maybach. But let's talk about MMA. Cedric Doumbé makes his PFL debut. I watch a few of Cedric's fights from like Glory, and I was pretty excited to see him, you know, make his debut and fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? I thought it'd be sick if he made it to like 170, got to the UFC, fucking starts fucking everybody up or something. Maybe like a Alex Pereira type vibe. I mean, it's wishful thinking. Like those Glory guys, I don't know if they could handle real wrestlers, and there's nothing but real wrestlers at 170. But it would be nice to see. It would have been cool to see him, be in the UFC. But unfortunately, they fumbled the bag. Our boy made a nice little showcase. Came out 9-second KO, fucking all the shit talking, all the the guy. I think if the guy continues to win, he's gonna be a star. And Dana White is gonna be fucking rolling. He's gonna be so fucking pissed. I think we lost Izzy. I think Izzy is I'm not gonna say he's finished. He always has the potential to come back. I would never count him out, but I will say that, his marketability seems to be tanking by the day. And, it seems like his drive, his energy. I mean, I don't know the guy. I don't see the guy on the day to day. I don't talk to the guy. I don't, for all I know, this guy could have been made up. He's AI. He's a fucking NPC that I just get to watch. I don't know. But it seems like from the outside, from what we get to see, it seems like, he's in a tough place. And I don't think it's like a physical tough place. I don't think it's the odds stack against him type tough place. I think it's a mental tough place, in which case the odds can be stacked against him in his own head. But I think it's one of those tough places that he has to get through mentally. I think he's having some type of, crisis. And people would be like, oh yeah, Sean Strickland invoked the crisis, da-da-da-da-da. But like, bro, who knows, maybe all the success and all the fame and all the women and all the, the glory, maybe all of that is really what's making this guy have this downfall that we're getting to see. But outside of him, we have Sean O'Malley. I don't think Sean O'Malley's going to be at the top of the heap for too much longer. I think if he gets to fight against Cheeto, it's a toss-up. I'm rooting for Cheeto. I like Cheeto. I like his story. I like the immigrant mentality. As an immigrant myself, I like Cheeto. But I think Sean's a cool guy too. I wouldn't put it past him. I think it could be a nice striking match. I think, Cheeto staying patient like he normally does. If he finds that opening, he finds that opening. But Sean's defense is, it's pretty good. And his striking, his offensive striking is, I don't think it's going to allow Cheeto to be as patient as he normally is. But the fight I really want to see is Corey versus Sean. I think Corey versus Sean would be a fucking banger. I think it'd be the best fucking fight they could make at bantamweight. It'd probably be the most entertaining, assuming that Corey's not just going to take him down and lay on him, for 5 rounds. Which, even if Corey did, it'd be a display of dominance that we haven't seen anybody else in the bantamweight division do to someone like Sean. Given that Sean is damn near 6 feet tall. Like, if Corey was able to do that, that'd be some, GSP level shit, It'd be pretty tight. But, yeah, I think Merab is the well-deserving number 1 contender. But, given his relationship with Aljo and how Dana doesn't like those guys from that camp, I doubt we're ever going to see, not that we're ever going to see, but I doubt that Merab's path to the title will be sooner than later. I think maybe he gets the next shot If not the next shot after Cheeto. If not that shot, he might get a shot after, whoever's after that, So we don't really have too many big stars in the UFC. Person like Cedric would have been, I mean, supposing that he could get to the belt, a person like him would have been, a real big thing for us, It would have been a big thing for the UFC, us. I'm talking like I'm part of the UFC. I'm not part of the UFC. I wish I was. Put me on the payroll. But it would have been a pretty big and cool thing to see in the UFC and for UFC fans, Not to shit on Jones, but after Jones, I think, demolishes Stipe, we're not going to see him anymore. 205 Alex versus Yuri, that's going to be a fucking banger of a fight. I'm pretty excited to see that. But those guys, I don't see those guys having long reigns, either of them. I think if Alex is able to pull it off, something that Izzy couldn't do, I think if Alex could pull it off, that'd be fucking sick. Alex is legitimately like the coolest guy on the roster, but I think that'd be fucking sick. But if Yuri's able to get it, then Yuri deserves it. Hopefully he can bounce back from that shoulder injury and give like 100% performance. We'll just have to see. But I think that'd be a cool fight. But we're not getting no like superstars out of that fight. 185, of course. You had Israel. Who knows how he's gonna bounce back from the mental block. Sean is a funny guy. I don't see Sean being the champ for too much longer. I think literally anybody they put up against Sean will probably beat Sean. I think Drakus fucking mops him. I think Whitaker mops him. I think a Cannonier rematch would be deserving for Cannonier. I like the Kill of the Gorilla. I feel like he deserves that rematch. But I understand, he's not the most profitable guy that you could put up there. I think Hamza or Paulo, fucking fucks Sean's up. I think Paulo would press him with the fight. I think Sean could beat Paulo. I think it's possible. I'm not going to put that past Sean. But I think Paulo could press him and really put some damage on him. I think Hamzat is too much wrestling for him. I think almost anybody in the fucking top 5 of the middleweight division could probably get Sean the fuck out of there. So I don't see him being there for long. But I like him while he's there. He's a funny guy. 170, we got Leon. Leon's not a superstar. I hate to say it. I love Leon. I think he's a cool guy. As an Islander, I support Leon every time he gets into the octagon. That's my island brother. I like Leon. I want to see him win. I want to see him go out there and put the fucking hurts on Colby. I hope he beats the dog shit out of Colby. I know Colby has a facade. I'm not a Colby hater. I think Colby's fucking entertaining too. The same way I see Sean is entertaining. But I hope Leon just mops the fucking floor with him, because Colby getting a title shot is so undeserving. But Leon's not a star. We know that. 155, we got Islam, we got Charles. If Charles is able to get that belt back, we still have a superstar. The champ has a name. But I could see Islam easily handling Charles the same way he did the first time. 145, Volk is the guy. He's the 145 fucking GOAT. He's the man. If he goes back up to 155, I think he gets it done. But, even with Volk being as dominant as he is, Volk being as Volk as he is, he's still not that superstar. And then, like I was saying, we got Sean, and then we got Pantoja. And, we lost Amanda on the women's side. Valentina and Grasso have a third fight coming up. I don't know how many people are like super interested in it. I like seeing Grasso as champ. I like it. I think it suits her. I love Valentina, but I think that, if she were to decide to exit the sport, she would still go down as one of the greatest fighters of all time. Whaley's a sweetheart. I hope Whaley has a long reign. But yeah, man. We don't have too many superstars. We could use as much firepower as we could get. Cedric is a fucking cool guy. Would have loved to seen him on the roster. But I'm pretty excited for this up and coming card. I think I hope. I hope. This is what I'm hoping for. I hope Paulo gets in there, and I hope Hamzat gets in there. And Paulo beats the shit out of Hamzat like he owes him money. I hope Paulo beats the dog shit out of Hamzat. I feel like Hamzat is so, I don't want to say overrated. I just feel like he's not properly rated. I feel like he's being pushed to the title. Like, who has he fought? He's fought bums. He's literally fought bums. Like, the one guy, Ji Leung, I'm not sure if I've said his name right. Like, come on, bro. Are we serious? Are we serious? The one guy he knocked out with one punch, where the fuck is even that guy? 2 wins at 85 on people we don't even really know. You know? Like, maybe I'm just a casual, but I don't know those guys. The win over Holland, yeah, that's a person we all know and love. But like, let's be real. Holland, as much as we love Holland, he says it himself. He's there for the money. He's a journeyman. He's not a real contender. He's not trying to be the champ. He's not trying to be the best. He's just there for a check. Like, it doesn't matter if you have a win over a guy like that. Anybody can have a win over a guy like that. So he just wants to put on a show and get his money. Like, come on, dude. Who has he beat? Gilbert? I love Gilbert. I think Gilbert's great. I think Gilbert is, a tough night out for anybody. Gilbert had that fight with Bilal. He hurt his fucking arm in the first round, I believe. The rest of the night, he just couldn't do anything. He just survived. Bilal couldn't put him out, but, Gilbert's a tough guy. He's a tough night out. But he's not a champ. He's not champ caliber. He's a guy who flirted with, the top 5, but wasn't ever really, he's not super top 5 material. I think if Hamzat fought a guy like Shavkat, he wouldn't survive. I think if Hamzat fought Usman, he wouldn't survive. I think Bilal would give Hamzat a tough night. Could he beat Leon? Possibly. I'm not going to say that he can't. I think him being a championship wrestler might give Leon a hard time. But at the same time, it's completely possible that Leon stuffs the shit out of him the same way he was stuffing the shit out of Kamaru, and he bops him in the fucking head. It's completely possible. I think Colby give Hamzat a tough time. Hamzat didn't belong in that weight class. He was too big, but I don't think he's beating most of the guys in the top 5. Don't think so. I don't think so. I feel like he's a guy who we really don't know his level yet. If Hamzat were to go on a 3 to 4 fight losing skid, I would feel like I could see that. I could understand that. It wouldn't be shocking to me. Because this guy has not been proven. Not yet. And I feel like this Paulo fight is going to be a nice add to his record. It'd be a nice little, okay, he beat Paulo Costa. All right. I mean, that doesn't mean much, but that means something. Doesn't mean much, but it means something, I don't know. Shooting him straight to a fucking championship fight after that, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. I don't think he deserves it. I think maybe he fights one more, top 5 ranked guy. That's me, though. And then we have Johnny Walker versus his name is always tough for me. Angalayev, maybe. That's that. I'll leave it at that. Magomed. I think Magomed gets Johnny Walker the fuck out of there. I think he wrestles the dog shit out of him. Maybe sub him first 2 rounds, maybe. I don't see Johnny Walker. He has the power to put anybody out. But I just don't think he has the technical ability to deal with a guy like Magomed. And I think Magomed, I think he won that fight with Blahovic. I would have I would have went his way. I would have went his way on that. I feel like that decision was kind of nonsense. I would have went his way, but I think if anyone's gonna be champ and have a reign at light heavyweight, it would be him. He's a wrestler. He has decent hands. I think he could do it. I think he could do it. As far as Johnny Walker, I see him getting through that guy, no fucking problem. Of course, Johnny has a puncher's chance. It's the UFC. Anything could happen. But I see it, man. I see it. And for the main event, I I really want Paulo. I really want Charles to win. I love Charles, dude. The champ has a name. What he did at lightweight, we haven't really seen that before. You know, some people call Habib the GOAT. Some people, who are super casual might call McGregor the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Some people call the 155 GOAT. I have no clue, man. I started watching UFC not that long ago, so who's the GOAT at 155? I don't know. I haven't seen anybody have like a dominant reign. I haven't heard about it on my way in. That belt's been passed around a lot. Maybe it's because there's a lot of killers. But I really want to see Oliveira get that W. I think Oliveira has all the tools to put it together. I don't know if he has the composure like Islam has the composure, but Islam is defeatable. He lost to fucking Alexander Volkanovski. I don't care what anyone says. He lost that fight. Volk got robbed. He can be defeated. I think he can get defeated. He can be defeated. He doesn't have that aura of invincibility that Habib had. He's a Dagestanian wrestler guy. Those guys are the boogeymans of every division. But I don't see him having a long reign, and I don't see him, I could see him having a long reign. I'm not going to say that, because if we look at 155, all the guys in the top 10, top 5, most of them are strikers, We got Gamrot, we got Fazee, who just lost, unfortunately, the way he did. We have Benny. I think Benny could handle fucking Islam. We got a good grappler in Charles, but there's just not. I could see him. If he fights all of those guys top down, I could see him doing that easy, no problem. He can handle all of those guys. He could have a long reign, but I would love to see Charles get the W. I love Charles, man. That guy's story, the guy's energy, the guy's image. I think it's, it's cool, unique. We already seen Islam. We've seen Islam 1,000 times before. Do I think he's gonna get it done? I'm leaning Islam, just because of who he is, and what he's shown us, the dominance he's shown us, the streak, of course the judges are gonna lean in his favor if things go to the cards, because he is who he is. But my heart says Oliveira. I'm hoping for Oliveira. I'm gonna be rooting for Oliveira that night. It's gonna be a very interesting card. I can't wait for it. Anyways, it's starting to get late. I'm mad fucking Jack and Cokes deep. I think it's time we touched on our last topic, or at least our last subject matter that I enjoy. Music. Just like a week or two ago, my wife and I went to go see Chatpile. And for those of you who don't know Chatpile is this really sick, really fire, really fucking what's a good adjective I can insert here? Whatever adjectives you could think of. for the word like exciting and fun. I don't know. Adam there. These guys are awesome, man. They're noise rock, experimental, sludge band. That's how I would describe them. Um, I think their vocals are very similar to like those of Daughters. Really exciting band, man. Really fun. They have really cool and meaningful, exciting and intense songs. A lot of gut wrenching and I don't know, disturbing lyrics. You know, these guys are awesome. They make really awesome music, and we got to see them live. I've been listening to them since their first like double EP or whatever. Real cool. My homie put me on. Shout out to him. I'm in debt to him. I really enjoy those guys. I got all their shit on vinyl, so it was awesome to go see them live last week. They were fucking sick. Very interesting crowd. Very interesting crowd. You know, metal is at a place where it's pretty inclusive these days. And I'm at the show. I'm a black guy. I'm black. I'm African. You know, and black's the name is Tyrone and, you know, whatever the Kendrick lyrics are. I'm probably like one of two. That's typical at metal shows, you know? One of two at this fucking show. And crowd is just full of non-binaries. They, them. She, hers. You know what I'm saying? Fucking loaded with these guys, you know? Very LGBTQ friendly band. I had no clue. I thought it was pretty cool, you know, getting to mosh with some pretty tough dems. You feel me? Elbowing and, you know, pushing and shoving, and it was a great time, man. Really awesome band. I think you guys should check them out if you enjoy metal. Really cool fucking really cool songs, really cool show. Interesting fan base. Really cool fan base. Very interesting. Outside of that, we got to explore Richmond, which is a cool area. Also got to explore a little bit of DC. Awesome places. Would recommend a visit. And I'd love to see the next Chatpile project. I want to see what direction they decide to go in. The first double EPs, you know, they showed us what they're about. At first, when I heard God's Country, the most recent project, I was a little underwhelmed. I was expecting more, but it grew on me. It was like, okay, this is the natural progression of what they've shown us before. This is where they belong. They sound great. They, you know, the songs, you know, they grew on me. There's a few songs that I still don't think I care that much about, i.e. Tropical Beaches, but Grimace.jpg, you know, fucking Wicked Puppet Dance, Pamela, absolute banger, you know, what is it, Anywhere, fire, the first track, Why, the second track, all of them, awesome, dude. Slaughterhouse, I think, is the first track, or I don't know, Slaughter something. But awesome, man, awesome band. I recommend you guys go check them out. And for my second and probably my final recommendation, we're hitting the 50-minute mark. We're not quite at an hour yet. I'm sure the more comfortable I get and the better I'm able to flow, the more likely we'll be hitting hours and whatnot. But we're at the 50-minute mark, which is awesome. But last person I wanted to recommend everybody go give a listen to is fucking Glock 40 Spaz. Glock 40 Spaz, absolute gas. I've been enjoying it all week. It's been getting me through my long work days, slaving away for the Amazon, listening to Glock 40 Spaz talk about killing people and committing crime and crashing out on site. It's fucking it's liberating, to say the least, you know. I'm sitting in that fucking van, hopping in and out of the van, going up and down driveways, you know, approaching nice homes and just
in my ear, I just hear Glock 40 talking about crashing out on sight. You know what I'm saying? Walk them down strong like a bicep. I go face to face. I don't do internet. You know, all that good stuff. That shit is it's gas. It's pretty motivating, energetic. Um, Free Glock 40. I'm not sure what he's in jail for. If it's anything that has to do with any heinous sexual activities, you could keep him there. But, you know, if it's just like robbing people, killing people, you know, those things could be forgiven depending. But free Glock 40, man. You know, free Glock 40. I'd like to see how he progresses. If he, you know, continues to do like the street rapping, the real gutter, you know, high violence, you know, type stuff, or if he leans more towards a mainstream appeal. I'd like to see him continue to make more trench type music and stay in the streets. But, you know, as a fellow black man, I'd like to see all of our young men do better. I'd like to see us get into these places where, you know, we don't have to. We could take a step away from the street life and all the terrible things that come with it. So I want to see him do better. But as far as what I want to hear more of that raunchy shit. But I think it's best if he tries to take a mainstream approach once he comes out and makes new music. Very interesting artist. Not really that interesting. If you heard him once, you heard him all. There's not much to the guy. He's pretty mid, if we're being honest, but I enjoy him. I like the high energy. I like the accent. I love the Atlanta accent. It's fun. I think the Atlanta guys pop that violent shit better than most people. Maybe it's because I lived in Georgia for a bit and I could just, you know, I feel it more. But I don't know. Definitely worth a listen if you enjoy like real street shit. But yeah, man. As far as music, that's what I've been listening to a lot. A lot of Glock 40. You know, been diving deep into Mayhem's discography, enjoying the Chimera album. I didn't think I would like that album, but there's a few songs on there that got my attention just from like a few riffs, and I've been listening to it like at the gym and just at work and shit. It's a pretty good album. I think Chimera's pretty good. I thought Mayhem was like a one album wonder with De Mysteria. I think the Death Crush EP is cool and all, but you know, everybody knows the Mysteria, you feel me? All the bangers are on there. So to find another Mayhem album that's pretty good, I think it's pretty tight. Oh, also the Damon album that came out like 2 years ago. I thought it was mid then. I still think it's mid now, but some of those songs are like Everlasting Fucking Flame, I think it is. One of the bonus tracks, the first bonus track. That shit sick. The groove on that fucking song, the drive, it's awesome, man. It's an awesome song. I recommend maybe those 3 artists, 3 albums, whatever. Who cares? Anyways, thanks for your time. Thanks for being here with us. I guess we got closer to an hour than I thought we would. But I'm recording this on Sunday. I don't know if I'm gonna be releasing these after I record them on Sunday, or if I'm gonna release them fucking I don't know how I'm gonna drop this, but this will be dropped within this next, probably tomorrow. Monday, October 2nd. This is probably the day I'll air this shit, but yeah, man. It's October 1st. Thanks guys for tuning in. I'm sure most people won't make it this far. Who cares? We'll be back next week with a new episode of Shooting the Shit with your boy Lynch. I don't think I'm going to use my government anytime soon. But yeah, take it easy, guys. Be grateful. Be thankful. And don't kill yourselves. Take care.